Well, hello, I am live, and hopefully everything's working good. Let me double check a couple things because a lot of times I screw up. Okay, it looks like you can hear me, and I already checked the video. Okay, I hate to put you guys through this, but we're gonna watch something that NASA uploaded today, and it is called, well, it's just an interview or whatever. Astronaut Kjell Lindgren answers Indiana student questions from Johnson Space Center. So there's a lot in this video, like kids asking questions. And I named this video that you're watching right now, this live stream, it is just wrong. And I'm going to explain a few things after we watch this sickening display of astronaut ass kissing, if excuse my pardon my French, but it's disgusting. So let's take a look, and I will come back in a moment.
Hello, students at Van Buren Elementary School. This is Governor Eric Holcomb joining you today. What a great day to be a Wildcat. You may recall that Indiana was the birthplace of the first person to set foot on the moon, Neil Armstrong, of course. He was a graduate of Indiana's Purdue University up in West Lafayette, Indiana, also known as the Cradle of Astronauts. Boiler up, hammer down. But now you are part of another history that's being made. And I know you'll never forget today. I'd also like to extend a warm Hoosier welcome to the crew of Expedition 67 as you enter Indiana web space from space. So on behalf of our state, thank you for serving all of humanity, and indeed our world, as astronauts at the International Space Station do your most important job. And thank you for taking the time to downlink with students here in Indiana, in Brown County. We all couldn't be more grateful for the way you continue to pioneer advancements and conduct research that could lead to improved technology and health for years to come here on the planet we all call.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to trying to get my program going here, and I've screwed something up. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Sorry about that. So here's what I want to point out. We just started. This is I think it's the governor of Indiana. This guy talks really weird. He talks really slow. He says a lot of things like this, but he's praising the astronauts.
All home. Couldn't be more proud. Finally, students and school staff, faculty, teachers, everyone that had a hand in this, congratulations on this opportunity that is truly out of this world. Your nationally recognized dedication to teaching and learning makes us proud and will continue to take you as far as you want to go. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that today proves that not even the sky.
Okay, listen to this, guys. This is important. Let me go back just a little because he just started saying it.
Go so far as to say that today proves that not even the sky is the limit for you all. So learn all you can and reach for the stars. You're going to catch them.
Okay, you guys ready for some questions of the children? There's some good ones. So he says, reach for the stars, you're going to get them. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, there's I don't know what takes them so long here, but it's like 30 or 45 seconds of nothing. They're taking pictures or something, I don't know. Okay, here we go.
Houston, this is station. I am ready for the event. Houston ACR, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Mission Control Houston, please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Houston ACR. How do you hear me?
How do you hear me?
Houston ACR, I have you loud and clear. How me?
I have you loud and clear. Please stand by for the first question.
Hi, my name is Soil Reynolds. I'm in first grade, and why do you want to be in space?
What an awesome question. Yeah, why do you want to be in space, you weirdos?
Hi, Sawyer. Thank you for the question. I have dreamed of being an astronaut and wanting to fly in space for as long as I can remember. I was inspired by books and movies. And then when I was in second grade, so in the grade that many of you are in right now, I remember my teacher wheeling a television into our classroom and seeing the very first space shuttle launch. And that's when I knew that there was a path, a possibility of finding a job, of living and working in space. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Reese Reitzman. I'm going into the 4th grade, and my question for you is, what are your spacesuits made of?
Imagination. They're made of space junk.
Thank you for that great question. Our spacesuits are absolutely amazing pieces of technology. They have 16 layers. There's a hard layer that covers the torso, and then soft layers that cover the arms and legs. Those first 3 layers provide ventilation and cooling to our bodies. And then we have several layers, a bladder layer that keeps the oxygen and atmosphere in there, and then a restraint layer on top of that so that the bladder doesn't blow up like a balloon. And there are several more layers there that to provide water resistance and tear resistance.
What did he just say? For all the flat earthers out there that think space is fake, let's listen to what he said about what? Water? He's talking about spacesuits, and then he's talking about water resistance? What?
And there are several more layers there that to provide water resistance and tear
there you
resistance that protect us, that help with insulation to keep us warm, and then also layers to reflect light and heat, and also to protect us in the event that we get hit by a micrometeorite, essentially some of the same materials that bulletproof vests are made of. So it's an amazing piece of technology, and it keeps us safe when we go outside the space station.
Hi, my name is Colin Peck, and I'm in the 3rd grade. My question is, how does a spaceship launch?
Lots of helium. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's a great question. We had the opportunity to launch on a...
Uh-oh. Do you guys just listen to what this astronaut is going to teach children? That there's a dragon up in space.
In a SpaceX Crew Dragon on top of a Falcon 9 booster. And so anytime we're launching something to space, we'll put the cargo, in the case of our spacecraft, our Dragon capsule, on top of a big rocket full of propellant. And it burns that propellant, that gas, and an oxidizer like oxygen, using something like oxygen to create basically combustion. And that the results of that combustion get accelerated through the nozzle, and that's what pushes up into space. And the bigger the payload, or the further it's going, the more fuel and the bigger rocket you need. And so I'm super excited about the Artemis rocket that we're going to launch here in a few months, that is establishing our return path to the moon.
Artemis, guys. Artemis. Isn't that like, maybe we'll have to look that up. Artemis is like a Greek god or whatever, like a deity. Why are they always doing that? Why?
My name is Hudson Bernard, and I am in 3rd grade. What does launch feel like?
Launches are absolutely amazing. So you hear the countdown, and we all are very familiar with that countdown. 3, 2, 1, and then we feel the vibration of the spacecraft as the motors start to spin up, and then you start to feel when we're launching, we feel a pressure, like we're getting pushed back into our seats. And it's kind of like if you're on a roller coaster or in a car that starts to accelerate really fast, you get pushed back into your seat. Well, that's what we feel like, and that goes on for about 8.5 minutes until we get into low Earth orbit, and then that acceleration goes away, and then all of a sudden you're free floating and you're in space. It is absolutely amazing.
So do you guys understand what he's trying to tell, or what he's trying to say about what a launch feels like? He's saying that there's 8.5 minutes of acceleration. So if you can imagine that, like if you're in your car and you're at a stop sign and you start going and you're going to go up to 60 miles an hour, if you floor it, you know how it throws you back in your seat till you're at 60 miles an hour, and then it stops. Then you aren't getting pushed back in your seat anymore because you just maintain that speed. Well, that's what he's saying happens, but their acceleration is 8.5 minutes long, so they're sunk back in their seat, like, you know, with extra G forces for 8.5 minutes, and then they shut the engines off, and then they just float there. They're going so fast sideways, and they think they're going around the curvature of the Earth, which doesn't exist. It's a sad situation in this world today. But we're gonna. You know, the prophets talked about this. They did. And I know a lot of people don't, for some reason, they don't, recognize this aspect of what the prophets in the scriptures wrote. They wrote about this. Very clearly wrote about this. So, according to the Bible, there's a place of darkness upon the face of the deep. And God was, his feet were right above that. The Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters. That darkness, okay, that's up in the sky. That's not beneath the earth. The deep, the great deep, or the abyss. That's right away in Genesis. Is the second verse. There was darkness upon the face of the deep. So then remember that God divided the light from the darkness. Remember that? And what did he call the light? He called day. And then the darkness he called what? Night. So how do we get night? How do we get nighttime? Well, when the sun goes far enough away, it gets dark. It's called darkness. It's called night. It's the night sky. It's space, whatever you want to call it. It's darkness. So what these people are doing, what this guy is doing on your screen, is he's teaching children to love darkness. He has a father of lies.
Hello, my name is Eli Summers. I'm in the 4th grade. How does the space station get its power?
Oh, I'll answer this one for you. It gets its power from a dragon. I'm just kidding. Not that kind of power. It gets resupplied from a dragon, but it gets its power from the sun. Horrible editing job, NASA.
It's really amazing that we don't have to get power from the ground. We generate all of our own power with the amazing solar arrays that we have on the outside of the space station. And in fact, we're in the process of upgrading our solar arrays so that we're going to have 6 brand new solar arrays that are kind of layered over top of our...
Look at the screen. I don't know why I just thought of this, but you know, if you cover up the curvature part of the globe there, it almost looks like you're standing on the street, looking up at the Twin Towers, and you're seeing clouds in the sky. That's weird. I don't know why I just thought that way. Like, these are the towers, you know? Have you ever been to New York? I went to the top of I don't remember which tower it was. I think the South Tower. I think I was about 15 or something. That was way up there. Those are high buildings. And I was actually recently just in New Jersey, in Newark, at the airport there, and I got some footage of the skyline of Manhattan, or I guess New York City or whatever. And like the Freedom Tower and stuff. Maybe I'll put a little bit of that up on my channel just for fun. But yeah, so he's going to talk about these. I don't want to watch this whole video, but there's some interesting stuff that he said. And then there's I don't know, it's what did she call herself? Superintendent, I think, of the school. And she goes and praises them too. Now, I have something that I want to mention, a possibility, okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about. In Enoch 17, it's quite interesting. Let's see if I got, you know what I should do? I'm just going to go to this one. We'll come back to 67, but I got to show you something here. Okay. Verse 1, and they took me and brought me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wished, they appeared as men. They appeared as men. My mouse is not working good. And they brought me to the place of darkness. Okay, I really want people to recognize that space isn't fake. It's darkness. There's a big difference between something being fake and something being a bottomless abyss that everyone should fear. I don't know how to think about that. But anyway, to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the places of the luminaries and the treasuries of the stars and of the thunder and of the uttermost depths. Okay, do you guys understand that just because, like in 2 Peter when it says he cast them down to hell? Well, I think that's speaking like from the point of God, like cast them down. Okay, from where he is, it's down. The depths, the deep. It's below him, but it's not below us. Well, it could be below us, but it's above us. Where a fiery bow and arrows in their quiver, and a fiery sword, and all the lightnings. Okay, all this is in the sky. And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. Okay, so the point I'm trying to, oh, here, look at that. At the very end it says, or verse 7, it says, I saw mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place whence all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. Interesting. Oh, here we go. I saw the great rivers, and came to the great river, and to the great darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. Okay, there are waters above this earth. Now, I don't think it's water like we have in the ocean. I think it's something otherworldly, or whatever you want to call it. It's something that we don't know the nature of. The waters above, those dark waters and darkness. We don't know what that is. The way it works in my mind, like automatically, and this is what I have for 6 or 7 years been learning to try to let go of some of these natural ways of thinking that I have that come from this world that they just feel right. Because they're wrong. Most of the time they're wrong. When we're thinking about waters above or darkness, like if we're thinking about darkness, okay, we're thinking about like going into a closet and it's dark in there, right? Until we get a flashlight out, and then it's not dark, right? Yeah, thank you, Mr. Super Sidewinder. It's got a low battery on it, and I don't know what I did. I got to do something. My smoke detector, you'll probably hear in the background chirping, and that gets annoying. Low battery. Thank you. So I didn't even notice till you said that either. That's funny. So the way we think of darkness is wrong. Is what I'm saying. We think of it being the absence of light. Like when light isn't present, then it's darkness, right? I don't think that's the way it works. If you have light, you have darkness, they can be in the same place together, but it's like they fight each other almost. If the light's more powerful, then the darkness ceases to be there. It pushes the darkness away. Same thing if it's a teeny little light, the darkness, smothers that light, and it only lights up a small area. It's not just the absence of light. Darkness is, I think of it as like a medium that that I don't understand. That's basically what I don't have an explanation of what the waters above are, but I don't think that they're water like the ocean. I don't think it's water like the ocean. I think it's something different. But so that's darkness, okay? What I think is really important is that in the Bible, okay, God called the firmament heaven. He called the firmament heaven. He said that's heaven, right? Well, he did that to other things such as night and day, or light and darkness. He called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And if you think about how night comes, when the sun is going away, it's not just getting dark because the sun's going away. It's getting dark because darkness is coming in. It's not just a lack of light. It's like a different it's not a medium. I don't know. I don't have the words to describe it, and I'm not saying that I can describe it. I'm saying that darkness is not just the lack of light. It's a maybe you could say a substance or something. It's something. It's not just, oh, there's no light, so it's dark, like in space. Oh, it's just dark because there's so many suns, but they're so far away. No, dark. If you ask the astronauts, it's more like space is more like darkness, like that God put over Egypt. A darkness that can be felt, or that could be felt. It's like a thick darkness. It's like a cloud almost, like a cloud of dark, or like a fog. I don't know. I'm rambling. So let's go back to this real quick.
Our existing solar arrays. Each one of those new solar arrays generates about 20 kilowatts of power. So altogether, 120 kilowatts. In addition to the solar arrays, the existing solar arrays, which produce about 95 kilowatts, it's going to be a total power generation of about 215 kilowatts. It provides power for all of the equipment inside, for our environmental control system, and our ability to control the spacecraft in space, and to have communications like this, so that we are able to share our experiences with the ground.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie Sattler, and I'm in the 1st grade. How do you get oxygen in space? Thank you.
That's a great question. We need oxygen to breathe. We need it on the ground in order to survive in space. There's no oxygen, no atmosphere up here, so we have to create our own atmosphere here in the space station. That means a lot of nitrogen, but we humans and most living organisms need oxygen in order to live. And so initially, we would bring oxygen, have oxygen delivered in cargo vessels in big tanks, and that's released into the atmosphere. But we are also able to generate our own oxygen. We have a system called the Oxygen Generation System, which is very original. But this takes water. It uses electricity.
Oh, yeah. And NASA, again, I say this all the time, but shame on all you people for teaching children that it's a good idea to recycle their own urine and drink it, okay? That's not a good idea. It's not something you teach to children as something for the future. This is the future. Listen to what he says here. It's just dumb.
To split water into hydrogen and oxygen, and we can use that oxygen then as a part of our atmosphere so that we can breathe. And this is really important for future exploration. When we go to the moon and to Mars, we can't have cargo vehicles constantly bringing us supplies. It just doesn't work. So we have to be able to recycle our atmosphere, recycle our water, and so that oxygen generation system is an important part of that environmental control system.
Hello, my name is Lloyd Kennard. I am in 4th grade. How do you eat in space?
Well, this is one of my favorite things. I think our whole crew really likes to enjoy meals up here, and so I'm just going to show you quickly kind of what we have available to us. Half of our food comes pre-cooked and then in these kind of metallic envelopes. And so all we need to do is warm this up. We put it in, we have a food warmer. We slide this in there, has these hot plates in there. This sits against that, and this gets warmed up, and we open it up, and this is chicken fajitas. So that's pretty yummy. We put that on a tortilla. We have tortillas up here to eat with our food. But what to drink? So we have these little aluminum looking packets, kind of like a Capri Sun, if any of you've had those. But what we have inside is a powder. And so if it's coffee, it's powdered coffee. If it's juice, powdered juice. This happens to be milk. And then some of our food is dehydrated. So here's an example of a dehydrated food that we would add water to. And then some of my favorite things. This may be familiar to you. Uh-oh. So as astronauts, we get to play with our food, and there's nobody here to tell us not to. Thank you for the question.
Weirdos.
Hi, my name is Logan Hathaway, and I'm in 2nd grade. How do you guys prepare your food?
By the way, let me just point out, this is obviously edited video, and you'll see in a little bit here, they have clips when someone asks how to use the bathroom. They have clips from a video, an old video, inserted in as he's talking. So this is completely edited. It's not live at all. I mean, I suppose when it could be considered live while this guy's. It doesn't make it. It's just a recording. It's just a video they made. Uh-oh. Oh, his mic's off. I forgot.
Shell, your mic is off.
Mainly for food that's already been pre-cooked. We will put it in a food warmer, and that's how we'll warm the food up. And it gets really warm, so it gets pretty tasty. And we have a refrigerator too.
See, they have these clips and stuff inserted, so it's just an edited video. It's not live at all.
To cool off. And then some of our food, we'll add water to it and then cut it open, and we'll use a spoon. So it turns out the two most important utensils here in space to eat are scissors to cut open your food packets and a spoon to dig it out.
Hi, my name is Vlad Kachuk. I am in this preschool. Do you drink milk on the space station?
We can drink milk. Milk is an important part. It keeps our bones healthy, and we certainly, here in space, we're concerned about our bones.
Okay, listen, we'll come back to this. He's concerned about his bones, guys. I'll let it play a little bit. Listen to what he says just for about probably 15 seconds, and we're gonna look at Enoch 67 really quick. It's in there.
Skeleton, and so milk is an important part of keeping us healthy, just like it is keeping you healthy on the Earth. So this drink packet actually has milk in it. I don't know if you can read that label. So this has milk, so it's powdered milk. We put water into that, and that reconstitutes into milk. And here you can see this is oat cereal. And so there's actually powdered milk down at the bottom of this in addition to the cereal.
Okay, he wasn't going in the direction I thought he was going. Sorry. Let's I think probably right about here.
It's healthy, just like it is keeping you healthy on the Earth. So this milk is an important part. It keeps our bones healthy, and we certainly, here in space, we're concerned about our bones, our skeleton, and so.
Okay, and I think he fills it in a little bit, why they're concerned about their bones. But I think you guys all know about it. Let me just show you Enoch 67. It talks about those waters. Okay. Now, there's another subject that if you look at several of the Apocrypha books and also the book of Jude, it appears that the angels, the fallen angels, are imprisoned in the firmament of heaven, in the darkness, literal darkness. Like that's what the night is, the night sky, the darkness, where the stars are, that place, the firmament, okay? And if you think about this, if you listen to this or read this as if those waters above, there's darkness up there, there's dark waters, and God's above that, okay? God's above that darkness. So what NASA would consider to be the universe or the galaxy or whatever, it's a small part of, like, that's all sideways stuff. Everything that NASA dreams after is in a solar system where everything's falling into a abyss of darkness. Like, that's just what's happening. Why do you think they're floating? Because they're free falling. They're at 0G. They're falling. Perpetually falling. Verse 4 says, this is Enoch 67, and he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had. This is to Noah, but it goes past Noah. You'll see what I mean here. My grandfather Enoch had formerly shown me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal, and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur. And it was connected with those waters. Okay, there's produced a smell of sulfur. Have you guys ever heard about this phenomenon, the smell of space? Have you guys ever heard that? Chris, what's his name, Hatfield? I don't know, whatever that guy, his name is. What did he say? He said that it smells like brimstone, like a witch has just been there. And then he has a little smile. Like, this is an astronaut that says that's what space smells like. Like, when the only time they ever can smell it is like when someone does a spacewalk and then they come back in to like the ISS or whatever, and there's this distinct smell, and some people say it smells like burnt cookies. Some people say it smells like burnt meat. Should we take a little break and watch a video about that? Let's see if I can find it. We should actually, because what did she say? Burnt hamburger or cooked hamburger? It smells like cooked hamburger. But other people say it smells like sulfur, or like it's a metallic smell. That's what they say. Let's just see if I can find this video. Because if I try to do it while the video's playing, it's not going to work anyways. Or it'll just make the video kind of like glitch out. So I'm going to have to just look for a video for a moment. But if you want to look at the screen, there's a lot happening in this. I just wanted to pause on that. It talks about the health. It talks about them going in those waters, and there's just a lot. It's actually pretty crazy. Alright, my computer's working, sort of. Oh no. I went to the wrong folder. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. I just feel that it's appropriate to play a video, a short video. It's a good video. It's a recent video. Not too recent, though. Maybe a year ago I made it, or something. Let's see if I can find it. Ooh, I got a lot of good videos. That's probably why my computer's so slow. I'm video greedy. I don't want to delete videos. I don't like deleting videos. Okay, so I went to the wrong folder again. I think one more folder, it's got to be in this one. So I think it's towards the bottom. I don't remember what I called it. That's the problem. Swallow the toothpaste. Yeah, it's here. Just let me find it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to get distracted and start playing videos and watching videos. Okay, what I'm going to do is, if I don't find it right here, well, here's one. Here, I'm not going to play this whole video, but this will just give you an idea about this smell. Like brimstone is what this video is called. Oh, sound.
And then as soon as they wanted to open the hatch, the cosmonaut and astronaut who were with me told me, are you ready for the smell of space? Because it's a very unique smell, and this is the only time you can smell it. So I was ready there, and they opened the hatch, and I took a good whiff, and it smelled something like a burnt cookie. And I kept telling them, it smells weird. It's very
People
unique.
are baking in space.
I know.
When they opened the hatch, did Dragon have that new car smell?
It absolutely did. In fact, there was a little bit of space smell in the vestibule, and then when we got that hatch open, you could tell it was a brand new vehicle. Space smell.
Things don't smell the same.
Their burnt steak and gunpowder smell that many astronauts report in the airlock. That's one of the few smells you can smell strongly.
You're inside the spaceship most of the time. The only time you could smell space is when you come back in from a spacewalk. And as you repressurize the airlock and open the hatch, there's a distinctive smell to it. And it smells a little bit like being on a shooting range, like that sort of lingering gunpowder cordite smell. So maybe a little bit like brimstone. A little bit like brimstone. That's what it smells like.
Owen from San Francisco says, they say that the sense of smell creates the strongest memories for a person. What does the ISS smell like?
I'm trying to pause it. Sorry, guys. It's not.
No, the ISS, we've got a
really
good
here we go.
filter.
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to stop it for a little while. You get the idea. There's a certain smell up there, and it gets described in a lot of different ways, but it's like like a gunpowdery or okay, whatever. There's produced the smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters. This is in verse 5 or 6. Okay, and that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land, and through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. Okay? You guys, this is talking about this whole space thing. It's not fake. There's a lot happening in that darkness, and us going up there, look what happens here. Verse 8. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth. What for? For the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body. For they have denied the Lord of spirits, and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. Okay, it goes on. Let's see, where does it say there? Yeah, it's because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the Spirit of the Lord. And then it says, this verse 11, I'm just kind of skimming. It says, and those same waters will undergo a change in those days, for when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature, and when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. Okay. And it actually, these waters, actually, it's like a lake, and it turns into a lake of fire, which burns forever. Because that's what Michael, the archangel, says. Because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body. Therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire, which burns forever. darkness, night, space, whatever you want to call it, low Earth orbit, solar system, all of that is all wrong. It's all wrong. Yeah, but the satellites are up there and they got the ISS up there. Yep. Yeah, it's all wrong. It's just wrong. It's a misuse of leaving the creation, leaving where God placed us, trying to go where? The very place where God calls his own place. This is mine. This is in Psalm 18. It says that he made darkness his secret place. There's secret things in the darkness, I guess. But so yeah, there's something about that place. Let's see here. Where was I going to go? Let's go back to the video now. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Here we go.
Milk is an important part of keeping us healthy, just like it is keeping you healthy on the earth. So this drink packet actually has milk in it. I don't know if you can read that label. So this has milk, so it's powdered milk. We put water into that, and that reconstitutes into milk. And here you can see this is oat cereal. And so there's actually powdered milk down at the bottom of this in addition to the cereal. And so when we add water to this, it makes milk in there for us to eat with our cereal. Pretty cool.
Hello, my name is Ava Patrick. I am in the 1st grade. Can you listen to music on the space station?
We can listen to music on the space station. In fact, I think most of us really enjoy listening to music. I like listening to music when I work out, and then also while I'm working, I'll have some music playing in the background. So we have a support team on the ground that sends up lists. We'll send down a list of the music we'd like to listen to, and they send it up, and it's available. We can access it through a web page, and it works really great, and it reminds us of home.
Hi, my name is Phoenix Dunn, and I'm in kindergarten. Do you play games in space?
Well, we absolutely can play games in space. We don't have a lot. We don't have like a lot of board games up here because all the pieces would just float away. We've got a few soft, kind of spongy balls that we can throw around, but we try to be really careful because the space station. You know, if you can kind of look around me, it is just, there are computers and equipment and people, science all around. And so we want to be very careful and take great care of the space station. But you can see, for example, we've got a couple inflatable balls here. This is, I think, maybe Mercury. And you can see we've got a sun and a moon behind. And we'll kind of figure out fun things to do to have fun up here.
Hello, my name is Ronald Lucas, and I'm in 3rd grade. How do you keep your muscles strong in space?
Well, that's a really great question. We talked a little bit about the bones, and we work really hard to keep our muscles strong. So if we don't do any sort of exercise up here, it's kind of like, you know, we're up here for 6 months. It would be kind of like just laying in bed for 6 months. Your muscles become weak, your bones become brittle and weak.
What's this? Kind of like that Enoch was saying it. They see their punishment daily. Like they know what it is. They know what it like. I just think that this is too much. Because it's talking about those dark waters. That's what these people think of the vacuum of space. Because it's like a zero pressure, but that's not a vacuum. It's filled with darkness. Even science would tell you that there's dark matter. Something makes up a massive amount of the universe. Dark matter. I don't know. Darkness. What I'm saying is, it's not just a void. I mean, it's not a space. Let's just think about the word space. I mean, I want to rent a space that's 2,700 square feet. Or, give me some space. What does that mean? I mean, like, it means an area that would probably be able to have measurements, right? Like, you'd be able to measure left to right, or whatever. If it was whatever shape, you'd be able to measure the size of it. Anyway, if it's a place of nothing, an empty place, like a place where there's darkness, that is not a space. It's, well, yeah. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think you get the point here. Ooh, it's buffering, or maybe that's my mouse.
Your heart, your cardiovascular system doesn't work as well, and so we have to work out every day. In fact, just before this, I was on our treadmill. We work out every day to keep our hearts strong, our muscles strong, and our bones strong. And so we have an exercise machine. Because there's no gravity here to provide weight, we use evacuated cylinders to provide resistance. And this machine is kind of like a universal gym. And we can do all sorts of exercise on it. But we exercise every day for an hour on that machine. And then we'll get onto either a treadmill or an exercise bike to get a good workout and keep our hearts healthy. Great question.
Hello, my name is Avalon Julia, and I am in the 3rd grade. Are there any animals on the space station?
Avalon, great question. We have had and do have animals on the space station. They're an important part of our research program. They help us to understand how we and how animals, how living beings adjust to weightlessness and the kind of changes that we can see. One animal in particular is the fruit fly. And this is an animal that I studied when I was in college in a genetics class, because you can have many generations of flies in a given amount of time. And you can see the genetic changes. You can actually see those changes expressed in different colored eyes, different types of wings. You can see that expressed over different.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
So, as an example, the fruit fly is one type of animal that we've studied up here. We've had spiders up here in the past to see what would happen, how they spin different types of webs. And I'd encourage you to look, ask your parents to help you look online, because it's very interesting. Some of the spiders spun very wacky webs, but then over time they started to look more normal. And so it helps us to understand how animals adjust to being in this environment, much like we adjust to being in this very different environment.
My name is Lachlan Steele. I'm in kindergarten. If you had a snake in outer space, how will it slither?
Did you guys catch that? If you had a snake in outer space, how would it slither? That kid said it better than I did. This is a good picture right there of this guy. What I was doing was I was actually gonna. Whoa! What happened there? I must have. Okay. What I was gonna do is I was gonna. Whoops. I was gonna show you some of my program's talents here. Hopefully, there we go. Let's see. Let's do. Okay, there we go. Is that the right size? Is that a good spot? Let's see. Talk, guy. There we go.
Boy, that's a really good question, and I wish I knew the answer. I'm glad that there are no snakes up here. That would be.
Oh, it makes it
interesting.
Makes it kind of glitch out.
You know, I think that they would try and slither like they do on the ground. I think like when we get up here, our first reaction to floating is to kind of like you feel like you're falling a little bit, and I think snakes would try and slither. I think when you look at snakes that swim in water, that they might try and slither like they
look his
swim in
cigarette
water.
floats.
But I think over time, you know, they would adjust, and as they touch something, maybe they would coil around it to get some purchase on something, and over time they would learn how to. Maybe they would find a handrail and stick, and then they would be able to slither along the wall. It's a very interesting question.
His cigarette just floats. He's got two of them. He's got two of them, I think.
Hello, my name is.
Oh, she don't smoke.
And I'm in 4th grade. How long does it take to send or receive messages from your family?
Thanks for that question. That's a really important part of a long-duration mission, is the ability to communicate with our family and friends back home. We're very fortunate that we're in low Earth orbit, and so it is almost instantaneous. The ability to, like we're doing right now, to talk with the ground. You can detect just a very small.
Sorry, I'm entertaining myself here.
The vastness.
I forgot about
we
these
are very,
features.
very close to the Earth, and so our messages, either using a internet phone, talking to our family and friends by phone, or talking over the radio to mission control, or
Let's
sending
see
video
here.
signals along that same radio. It happens very quickly, and that's going to be a challenge when we start to venture further and further away from the Earth. Our message will, for example, as we go to Mars.
Don't ask me why, but I think I have
20 minutes to get to Mars, and then
Austin. Yeah, I
20 minutes
do.
to get back, and so it may take
Here,
40
let's-
minutes to an hour.
There we go.
Round trip kind of conversation.
Shout out
And
Melodome.
it's something that we're going to have to adjust to as we begin.
That's pretty cool. I don't remember. I must have made that. I think I was making a video clip for
My
him.
name is Anel
Whoops.
McLean, and I'm in 4th grade. How do toilets work in space?
Here we go with the toilets.
They work very well, and we are all very, very grateful for that. When we get up to the space station, it's one of the first things that we are oriented to. The crew that's here, they took us around. They showed us, this is where you get water and food. This is where you will sleep, and this is where you go to the bathroom. And then here's all the emergency equipment. Those are the most important things to know when you first get to the space station. The toilet has two parts to it, and so, oh, hello. Number one, there's a.
See, they just added a video clip.
Hose, much like the hose that's on your vacuum
Look at
cleaner,
that.
the extension hose.
Nice hair,
And that
guy.
is where the liquid waste goes. It uses a vacuum. There's a fan that pulls the liquid waste into that hose. That liquid, that urine, goes to the urine processing assembly, which then goes to the water processing assembly, which then goes to
Okay,
the potable
enough
water
of that.
dispenser, basically our water fountain.
There's more I can do,
we
though.
recycle our water.
Let's see what else we can do.
and,
Whoa, what happened?
We're able to recycle
Yeah, that's
up
pretty
to
cool.
about 96% of our water now, which again
How about
is
this?
super
Let's
important
do this.
for these missions going to the moon and to Mars, because we can't carry all that fresh
Here, we'll
water
get-
with
we'll
us.
get this
And
guy
that
looking
water
funny.
actually the system works really, really well. The solid waste
Let's
goes into
see.
something that looks very much like a toilet back home. There's a seat with a hole in it.
Man, they eat a lot up there.
At the bottom of that hole, and vacuum suction pulls the solid waste into that baggie, and when you're done, you unravel the baggie, drop it into the bin below. The air, the suction
Whoa.
pulls it down there.
Glitching
and then
out.
You put a new baggie in, and you close up the seat. So the system works.
Whoa,
great.
glitching out.
Hello, my name is Emily Tracy, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
the superintendent of Brown County Schools.
Okay, let's listen to Emily Tracy. Sorry, let me get it back to normal. She's the superintendent of Brown County Schools. Now, this is the way I see people being deceived by that space station, basically. They think it's such a benefit to humanity. They spend so much money on it. And all they're doing is just like taking a jet ride, but you go high enough that there's no drag on the vehicle. And then they think they understand what an orbit is and what low Earth orbit is. But the problem that nobody really thinks about is they only see the Earth beneath them. Ever. It's beneath them. And they only see a small part of it at a time. From horizon to horizon. They're not seeing the whole Earth or something. To them, like if you look at a time lapse, and you do one orbit from the space station, I'm saying, if you watch a video that's time lapsed of one orbit, which I might be able to show you, I think I have it somewhere. But it looks like it spins like the size of the Earth that you're seeing, the globe that you're seeing there, it looks like it spins like 3 or 4 times before it's one orbit. So they're only seeing a small portion of the Earth. And however, people think that they're lying. I don't think they're lying. I think that's what it looks like from 250 miles up. But I don't think Earth is a globe. If you listen to like some of these old books that I talk about, the Apocrypha and the Vision of St. Paul, I just did a couple videos about that. He went up there, he went up to the third heaven and learned a mystery. You'd think the church, the people that like are interested in the Bible, you think that they would be going, hey, Paul went up to the third heaven and Jesus ascended into heaven. Why are they interested in going to space? Don't they understand that like this is a lot lower than we're thinking? Like I'm saying, our natural way of thinking as human beings in our society in this time, we think of things a certain way. Generally we think of things in a certain way, and like all of us, it's not everything, but certain things. Like look at, everybody goes to school, there's restaurants, we go out to eat, we like our money system, we all think of many things in the same way, or we try to, and we're pretty good at it. Like human beings are very similar to other human beings, you know what I mean? Even if they are different race or language or whatever, they're very similar. They all do the same habits, the same routines, the same they do jobs, and you get what I'm saying. Anyway, let's listen to Emily Tracy and just recognize that, you know, when okay, we got to look at one thing before we listen to her, and I want you to understand just what I'm thinking about. Let's see, where was it? Is it in John 3? No, it's in John 1. I suppose I could do KJV. There we go. Okay, like, I'm not saying I understand all this, but look what it says in verse 5 here. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. And then it starts talking about John, who came to be a witness. He was like sent to be a witness, John the Baptist, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. I think that we are in a time where there is a light to bear witness to, and there's a darkness that doesn't comprehend it. Because I'll tell you right now, this Emily Tracy, I'm sure she's a wonderful lady. Do you get what I'm saying? Wonderful people can be tricked for their entire life if they were born into a society that was tricked. Just think about that. And I don't mean tricked by other people. I mean tricked by things that dwell in darkness. There's planets. Those are, in my understanding, those are a very large part of this very deception. So let's listen to what she thinks.
In Nashville, Indiana. I want to extend our warmest thanks to the astronauts on board the International Space Station for taking this time today to educate our students in Brown County schools. Your leadership and your experience are invaluable, and we could not be more grateful. Thank you for all you do to advance STEM education and the opportunities here on Earth, and for being an example of what hard work and dedication can look like. Today is certainly a great day to be a Wildcat.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to chat with you all. You had great questions.
Okay, listen carefully to what he says, closing up his interview or whatever.
And I wish you all the best. Keep working hard and reach for the stars.
Reach for the stars, huh?
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes our...
Do you guys realize that this is in the Bible? All of this. Reaching for the stars. Yeah. Those vehicles that we call rockets and spacecraft or whatever, all those types of vehicles, those are manifestations of another realm. Yeah, we built them on Earth, of course. They're just metal and whatever. Mostly probably metal and plastic and stuff. But the point is that we're looking at this guy's rear end. That's not good. Here, let's do this. There. Or no, that's not the right one. Here, you got a better one. Let's see. Where is it? Right here. There. Wait a minute. I think there's one more. Here. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at one other thing here. I just have this one verse in my mind here, and I haven't had the chat up, so I hope everything's been working. Let's look at this really quick. Let's go to Bible Hub though. Oops. Okay, what? Oh, there we go. We'll just look at this. KJV. Let me open or get that one page back up. I was playing on my program, so I didn't have the YouTube stream up. Hopefully everything's been streaming. Let's see. Thank you guys for coming. Okay, Obadiah 1. This, right off the bat, let's just read this thing here. I'm not going to probably read the whole thing, but you'll get the point in a minute. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord that an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You guys, these words have meanings, okay? The same meanings that you know that they have. So if we look at what it's talking about, whose habitation is high, who says in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Well, if something was going to bring you down to the ground, that would mean you'd be up. I'm not going to say specifically where, but you'd be up, or just like he said, dwell in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. Now it says in the clefts of the rock, but think of the Tower of Babel. Just think about it. Look what it says here, though. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay, we're going to stop there. Yeah. Maybe I should talk about the firmament. And one thing I want to say about the firmament, because most of the people that I, read in chats and things, just the general opinion of the firmament that I see online or wherever is that it's something that men can't get through. It's what do people say? It's nobody can get through the firmament. Nothing gets through the firmament. Stuff like that. That idea. That is not the right idea. And I'm saying based upon what the scriptures say, not based upon my thinking or my ideas, because in the end of days or whatever, there is a time when it's given to the Gentiles to tread it underfoot, to make a highway out of it, to use it and defile it, and they act as robbers and they climb into the sheepfold the wrong way. There's only one way to go to that place, that holy mountain, and that's actually, this is what it's saying. That's why I thought of that right here, is because the deliverance of Israel. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. This is the same thing that happens in Daniel's vision too, when the saints, it was the Son of Man, he was given dominion and a kingdom that was eternal, that lasts forever, and it was because this dominion that those beasts had, the four beasts that he saw, those four kings or those horns, it was a dominion that was taken by transgression, and it was dominion was given to that third beast in Daniel 7 verse 6. It says it, and dominion was given to him, and this is talking about the dominion of the host of heaven. The host of heaven. Think about that. All these things are happening up in the sky. Where does New Jerusalem, where does the temple of God come? Where does it come down from? The holy city. It comes down from heaven. Just think about that. Like, what are they doing with... Like, I want to actually watch a SpaceX launch that just happened. I just want to show you just the moment when they reach a certain speed. And you just have to, whether you think space is fake or they're faking it or whatever, you just have to watch this, and you have to realize something's happening in that atmosphere, or in the air of the Earth, like up high in the sky. Okay, something's happening, and it's on video all the time. I mean, it doesn't matter if you think they don't go anywhere, or if you think they're going to the ocean or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you watch what they're doing anyway, it doesn't look good. It looks like they're punching a hole in something. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I'll show you. But actually, why don't I do that right now? Let's do a little YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, these guys, they're They're teaching children the wrong thing, guys. Let's do this. Let's do space. It was this their last one. I don't remember which day it was. It was just a couple days ago. It was a Starlink launch. It was like I can't remember what it was. Something D or something like that. Let's see. Okay. 1 day ago. Okay, and they have another one tomorrow. You got to understand that this is happening all the time. Okay, we're just gonna skip all this stuff. I don't want to watch it all, but I just want to show you right about, or no, let's see, probably right, yeah, right there it was. Okay. Just watch.
Dynamic pressure.
Falcon is now supersonic.
A great call out.
What's that?
Falcon is now supersonic. That
What
means
is all
it
that?
Traveling faster than the speed of sound.
It's fast. It's a shockwave.
And we've also passed through Max Q.
Look at the exhaust. It changes as it goes up. It spreads out. It's burning the sky.
About a minute away from a few events happening back to back. That is
event back chill.
MECO, or main engine cutoff, stage separation, and SES1, or second stage engine start 1.
Falcon trajectory nominal.
Oh, I hate that word.
Main engine cutoff is where we shut down all 9 of the M1D engines on the first stage, and that helps slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation. Once the first and second stages separate from each other, stage 1 will make its way back to Earth for landing, and stage 2 will continue on its journey.
Did you hear what she just said? Stage 1 will make it back to Earth. And guess what? It makes fire come down from the sky when it lands, you guys. Well, here, let's watch the entry burn, or the, what is it, a boost back burn? Or doesn't it do one? It doesn't have to do one. I don't think it had to do one. So it just did a... I don't know. Maybe it was earlier. It would have been right at... right here. Right here. Okay, let's watch.
Back to back.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
So they separate.
And back ignition.
The second stage starts up. And so it's not, it doesn't even do a, it just does like a landing burn, I think.
You just saw MECO, or main engine cutoff, stage separation.
Yeah, entry burn.
SES1 on
I
your
don't know.
right-hand screen with that MVAC engine now glowing bright red. On your left-hand screen is a view of the first stage as it makes its way back down to Earth.
Oh, here it is. It makes fire come down from the sky. That's all I have to say. That's in this story. Bob from Globebusters is here. He's always first, too. That guy. So, it burns the sky. Just like... And it literally makes fire go down from the sky. Like, and like, here's the thing. Bob, what do you think of this? Let me show you this if you just got here, since you're first. I just wanted to show you, when they reach the speed of sound, there's always, like, there's something happening. I'm saying, like, whether it goes up farther and it goes into orbit or whatever, doesn't matter. But what happens, like, what we can see, this is, like, pretty low to the ground even, but what I'm saying is that there's something with the, you know how you get a sonic boom when it comes back in, there's something with that sounds like a meteor. When a meteor comes in or whatever, when like I've witnessed that myself. It takes years of practice for me to be first all the time. Yeah, I don't think anybody could be first in a chat. I mean, every you're first in your own chat, I'm sure. Okay, so check this out.
Dynamic pressure.
Falcon is now supersonic.
A great call out that Falcon is now supersonic. That means that it is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
So that sends out a shockwave.
And we've also passed through Max Q.
Oh, hear that sound? Hear that sound? Enoch heard that sound. Enoch saw these things, you guys.
We're just about a minute away from a few events happening back to back. That is
event back chill.
MECO, or main engine cutoff, stage separation, and SES1 or second.
Okay, so the sound, they're so loud, right? That's why you can't be so far, and they have like water, whatever suppression system or whatever, like I don't know what they call it, deluge system or something. Like how much sound a rocket makes, and it shakes shakes the air big time. That is, Enoch mentioned that. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is crazy stuff. Like, I can just show you. It's a chapter 57, and it's only like, it's only like 3 verses. But he explains a lot in those 3 verses. It's kind of crazy. And it came to pass after this that I saw another host of wagons. Some versions would say chariots. And men riding thereon, and coming on the winds, from the east and from the west to the south. And the noise of their wagons was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it. So it's saying the angels paid attention when this sound was happening, this noise, this turmoil, and it was their wagons was making it. That's important, I think. But then it says, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place. So, like the foundations of the earth, think about that. I don't understand like what we'd say physics or something like that. Yeah, Bob says rocket supposedly in at 225 decibels. It's a crazy amount of sound. But either way, what I'm saying is that the vehicles that make that kind of sound today would be a rocket. That's what it would be. Like, I don't think it has anything to do, even like the sky rolling back like a scroll. Like when Jesus comes on the clouds, behold, he cometh with clouds. Like that whole thing. To me, it's like the wicked men in the world. They make devices and they make things that destroy the world, and then the Son of God comes in that moment. Like in that moment when it, like I'm not sure about like if I'm putting this to right words, but what I'm saying is in the moment where that sky rolls back and that darkness pours in, or whatever ends up happening, it doesn't look like a good thing. But when all that happens, someone literally saves. Some people go up. Some people go up in the sky. Like, I'm not saying I can picture this even. That's what these prophets were shown. That's what Jesus foretold. That's what the story is that he, whether you think his name's Jesus or Yeshua or whoever, what I'm saying is that man that came down, that died, and like I know a lot of people wouldn't believe that, But would you believe that people at a certain time, when the sky, like when everything breaks, when the world breaks, and some people literally go up in the sky, and people come up out of their grave. Like this is a crazy story. But nevertheless, that the prophets saw the things that we have in our world today. That adds a lot of like seriousness to these scriptures, if you ask me. The noise of their chariots was heard when this turmoil took place. The holy ones from heaven remarked it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from one end of heaven to the other in one day. And they shall all fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. And that just reminds me, so the sound, look at what happens. This is the lights and no, that's not the one. Let's see. Okay, this is the book of Noah. The quaking of the heaven, behemoth and Leviathan, the elements. This talks about, right here. In that parable I saw how a mighty quaking made the heaven of heavens to quake, and the host of the Most High and the angels 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000 were disquieted with a great disquiet. And the head of days sat on the throne of his glory. I understand that to be at Polaris. Like that to be that light that we see that is Polaris is like a crystal house with a throne. And there's like a rainbow going around it, and it mentions the colors that it actually is. If you zoom in through a telescope, it's like a maroon red kind of, and like an emerald green is like on the outside kind of shimmering off of there. I have footage on my channel, and it's crazy. It was what John saw in Revelation 4. That was the colors that he saw up there at that throne. There was a throne in heaven. There was a door open in heaven, and a voice said to him, "Come up here. I'll show you." Like, these things really happen, because these people couldn't. What I'm saying is that all the stuff that they see now, or that we see now, they've seen it. It's been witnessed before somehow. They wrote about it. They wrote very specifically about it. But so it was a great, mighty quaking made the heaven of heavens to quake. So this starship, that's why I'm kind of like, that thing seems scary to me. And it's and at the same time, NASA's trying to launch their Artemis thing. That's a big rocket. It's a 300-foot tall rocket. That's insane. That hopefully it just blows up, because it won't have any people on it. So it's just they're just doing a test mission to around the moon or something with the Artemis. Oh, that's what we're gonna look up. Artemis. Let's see. Artemis. It's like Apollo's sister or something. I don't remember what it was. The daughter of Zeus. Oh, twin sister of Apollo. Is a twin sister? Who's Apollo? Is he the angel of the bottomless pit in Revelation 9? I think it is. And he's got a kingdom of darkness. 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 Ah. Okay, so right on the page, we got the Artemis program. Here we go. Apollo program. Come on, guys. Let's look at Revelation. It's everywhere. They're exactly what it says. They love darkness and didn't come to the light. Like the place where they actually think their future is darkness, and they're right. That's what I wrote in the description of this video. They're right. What is that? Enoch 93. Let's look at that first. Because that's a dream that Enoch had when he was younger or something. Yeah, Apollyon. Yeah, that's what it is. Apollyon or Abaddon, I think it said in the... maybe... we'll look at that. But here's one other thing that Enoch sees the earth swallowed up by an abyss. So, like, that firmament ends up rolling up. Like, it ends up not being what God made it into because men ruin it. And then he destroys those who destroy the earth. That's what it says. He destroys them because they destroyed the earth. And there's people that however that works, they get some different type of the thing that happened to Jesus ends up happening. They're born again, or I don't know what the right words are. When he rose from the dead, he had a body, like he ate food. Think about that. But it was a different. It was just like the waters above. It's something I don't understand. I don't think I'll ever understand. I want to. But he had a physical nature to him. But he was like a... maybe you could say he was made of light. But he was still... They could touch him. Like Thomas... Doubting Thomas, you know. He's like, I'm not going to believe it until I can put my hand in his wound, you know. And then when Jesus was there, he's like, here, do it. And then you know what he said? He said, blessed are those who believe without seeing. And Thomas believed when he saw, he said, oh, Lord, I believe. So when you don't see, but like you know, I don't know. I don't really know. I just believe that we're in that. There's a reason why there's so much available scripture and things to look at. 93. Is this the right one? This isn't the right one, is it? No. This one talks about. I mean, look at this. Verse 12, and how should there be one who could behold the heaven, and who is there that could understand the things of heaven, and see a soul or a spirit and could tell thereof, or ascend and see all their ends and think them or do like them? And who is there of all men who could know what is the breadth and the length of the earth? Isn't that interesting? Like it's this is talking about at its close, like the end of the age. That's what this is talking about. This is verse 10. It says that at its close. Well, here, verse 9. And after that, in the 7th week, shall an apostate generation arise, and many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And at its close shall be elected the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness, to receive sevenfold instruction concerning all his creation. Who's been learning about the earth? Like, just think about it. That what I'm saying is all of this stuff that's been happening in the last, let's say, 7 years, it's all been seen by people that are dead now. And they wrote it down what they saw, and it was shown to them in what they considered to be a supernatural event, like a vision that came from God. Just think about that. If you've ever had, I mean, I have a video that I made about a dream I had, a single dream that I had, and this dream was so real that I believe that it is a real thing. It was a real place that I went to. But I don't think I was in my body at all. I was in my bed. I was sleeping, or I was laying in my bed, and I had a dream. And you know what? I should play that video. Because I went to a place that was up on top of a mountain, and the mountain was in the sky, and there was, I was doing drywall, up there on some of the buildings, and especially one room. But it was like this complex thing that happened, and it seemed like I went there. One dream. I mean, I've had dreams my whole life. I think we've all had dreams, and they're dreams. But this was something different. I would, like what I'm saying is, I would consider, if I had to write that down or something, I would consider that to be a supernatural event that was not ordinary. For me, I'm saying that personally, that was something I've never experienced anything like that, and then since then either. That's one time in my life where I feel as though something truly supernatural is probably the best word, was happening in my life for however long, 2 hours or whatever, however long I was sleeping, however long I was dreaming. But so yeah, I don't think we're gonna ever measure everything about the earth. So, and to whom has been shown the measure of all of them? Or is there anyone who could discern the length of the heaven, and how great is its height, and upon what it is founded? And how great is the number of the stars, and where all the luminaries rest? These things are what the angels know. They're not what men know. Men want to think they know. That just reminded me of, I was listening to something. It was in Revelation. It said something like, these are they who keep the commandments of God, or something like that. And in my mind, I just said, these are they that tell other people to keep that they keep the commandments. I was just kidding, but that's what it seems like. It seems like a lot of people talk about keeping the commandments. And I mean, let me just read I have my Bible open right here, and there. I was in Proverbs 3, and just listen how it starts. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the tablet of thine heart. So that's something that I think when you maybe it probably sounds like cliche or whatever, but when you receive the Holy Spirit, or when you actually have a supernatural thing happen, and Jesus starts changing you, and you know it. I mean, you recognize it. You recognize that this is not just of you; it's him. He makes you look at something different. He makes you understand things differently, and it for me, it happens when I'm reading in these basically when I'm reading the Bible mostly. But let's see, I don't know if I'll be able to even find that dream, but I I made a video about it, and let's see if I can find it. Let's see. So yeah, the whole space, the whole solar system, the whole idea, it's wrong. I don't care if you say, well, we have satellites in orbit and it works great for us. You don't understand what you're doing. But the thing that you think works great for you was already seen by the people that wrote these books a long time ago, and it was seen in detail. They were talking about things that we're talking about today, and we think we're modern. These guys were seeing something they didn't understand. That's what was really happening. So they wrote it down the way that they wrote it down. But let's see here. Video, like brimstone. I could let that one play while I'm going to look for the other video for the dream one. I'll let the rest of this space smell one play. Let's see here. We'll find our place. Might take a second to get there. My computer's probably going a little slow. We weren't even 5 minutes in. We were only like 2 minutes in, right? I don't know if it's going to work now. I'm probably going to wreck my program for the day. Let's see if I can go back to desktop. Oh no. Yeah, we might be at towards the end of the stream. Oh, it just needed to think for a second. Let's see here. Let's try that again. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. See if I can just fast forward to about there.
It absolutely.
The only time you could smell space.
Oh, we were a minute. Here we go.
Owen from San Francisco says, they say that the sense of smell creates the strongest memories for a person. What does the ISS smell like, and what scent do you miss on Earth? The ISS, we've got a really good filtering system. There's air flowing. In fact, everything you hear when you're up here is fans going and air circulating. So we're constantly getting a fresh supply of oxygen. We're constantly getting the carbon dioxide scrubbed and all the other things filtered out. So it really doesn't smell, although when we first docked with the shuttle, there was a noticeable smell, but you get accustomed to it very quickly, so I can't tell anything anymore. There's one smell up here that's really unique, though, and that is the smell. We just call it the smell of space, but we experience it when I haven't had a chance to do a spacewalk yet. I'm still waiting and hoping for that. But when other guys did and they came back in, after we repressurized and opened up the volume for them to come back into the station, there's this really, really strong metallic smell. And I don't know exactly what it is. Something to do with maybe atomic oxygen interacting with the suit materials, or we're not exactly sure what it is. It's a very distinct smell, and it's the smell of space. It's really cool.
When you come in from a spacewalk, you're surrounded by the emptiness of space. It's sort of like the opposite of air. There's nothing there at all. When you quickly repressurize the hatch and you open up the hatch and you smell, what is that lingering smell from a place that used to be exposed to space? The smell in there is a little bit like that trace of a smell of gunpowder or burnt steak, or sort of like brimstone, like a witch has just been there. It's a cool, lingering trace of a smell. I think what it really is, brimstone, like sort of that metallic gunpowder-fired smell, like a witch has just been there.
And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west, among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal. Hey, that's funny. That's the verse that we read earlier. Huh, what do you know? Okay, here's a video that I made about that dream I had. It was crazy. It was just but I do believe it to be everything that I experienced in the dream. I think it was actually real, but I was still in a dream. If that makes any sense. Here we go. I guess it's giving me a little trouble here. We're going to try to start that over. I don't know what was going on, or maybe I just was silent at the beginning. That's shouldn't be, though. Okay, here we go.
I had a dream in 2018 that to me is really amazing, and I wanted to tell you about it. I was sleeping in my bed at night and had a dream, but it seemed very real to me. There is a part of
it's gonna give us trouble here, I guess.
Believes that.
Let me pause it for a minute and see if I can't close this down, a couple things down, and get it to play. Sorry, guys. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm not. Oh, good. For a second, I thought I was closing the wrong page, yeah, we're good. So hopefully it'll play. Cross your fingers. I already clicked the play button. I'll try again. Oh, man. Let's do this. Let's go to desktop. Something's going really slow. Sorry, guys. Of course, when I actually want to play a video, can't play it. What did I call this video, though? It was, so I have it on my channel. Oh, there we go. Flat Earth. Desktop. We'll try this video again. If it doesn't work, I'll find a link for it. And then, I guess I wrote, it just says dream on here. So let's just see if it'll play. I hope it does.
I had a dream in 2018 that to me is really amazing and I wanted to tell you about it. I was sleeping in my bed at night and had a dream, but it seemed very real to me. There is a part of me that believes that it was a dream, but that it took place in a real place. Here is where it started. I was driving a station wagon up the side of this mountain, and the traffic was heavy with big dump trucks going way too fast and passing me and almost knocking me off of the steep skinny road, and there were people with me in the car. But I didn't see any of them, I just knew they were riding with me, and we got to a city at the top of the mountain, and we were above the clouds. There was a pool of water that was about waist high, and off in the distance I could see and hear children playing in the water. Then I looked to my right, and there was a very tall man with his hand on my right shoulder, and I looked at him and he looked at me, but we didn't say anything and we walked through the pool together. He was showing me some things that I didn't understand, and still wonder about what a certain thing I saw was, a person I knew, and they were underwater, and it looked like the person was drowning, and I looked up at the man and he looked at me with a look of sadness or disappointment. I don't understand why.
Okay, I paused it. Hopefully we can just play.
Other part of the dream is
looks like I'm gonna have to grab a link. I'll find it here. Give me a moment, because I don't remember what I called it on my channel, but I can do a search and then I'll know what it is and I'll grab a link. So let's see. How do I go to my channel? Or where are you guys seeing? Oh, you guys are stuck on the video. Let me try to play it again. Okay, I got another idea. Let me get this YouTube down here. Whoops. Oh no.
Married to that tall man who walked with me in the pool, and they asked me to come to celebrate with them. And another part of the dream was in a room that was the ground floor of one of the buildings, with a stairway going up from the room I was in, and I had the clear idea in the dream that I was not allowed to go up the stairs because there was a hot tub up there that only adults were allowed to use, and I was a child in the dream. And then I realized that I was working on that building, and we were finishing the drywall in the room I was in, when a woman that looked to be about 50 years old or so came down the stairs, and she got our attention and told us to stop working so we could listen to her. I realized that those people who were riding with me in the car were doing drywall with me in that room, and she told us to stop and hear what she was going to say. She said, in this room, the walls must be perfect, because we study the Bible in this room, and then she repeated herself again. These walls have to be finished perfect, this is the room that we study the Bible in. So I said to her, we will get them perfect. And then I woke up. This dream is the only dream I have ever had where I went to a place and remember the place I went clearly, and can see in my mind the things I saw in the dream. It feels like I really went up to Mount Zion and walked with Jesus in a pool. I woke up in tears and it was very powerful and still is to me. If I was going to say something that I learned from this dream, there would probably be many things, but to me, it verifies something I have read about, and that Jesus claimed.
Oh. So that was basically it though. And then I was just in there, he was that guy, but it was me. I was gonna say that it reminded me of something that Jesus claims about there being many mansions. I wish I could play this, actually. We're going to try one.
Jesus tells us about a place that we can inherit, and how to do it. He says this: "Let not your heart be troubled, ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions, if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again, and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also." I think Ezra saw the same place I went to in my dream. In 2 Esdras 3:42-48, I found something interesting. It says, "I Esdras saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel, and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Lord thy God, thou hast seen. And then in chapter 13 of 2 Esdras, Ezra had a vision and asked the Lord to interpret it for him to understand it, and this is what the Lord said, Behold, the days come, when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I shewed thee before, and then shall my Son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have won against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come, and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion. And Zion shall come, and shall be shewed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my Son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto me. So thank you for listening, and know that there is something that I do know, even without the dream I had, and that is this, Jesus really is preparing a place for you, and he will come and receive you to himself. I saw the place he is preparing. I have been there in a dream. Well, I actually am working on the drywall there.
Okay, so that was the dream, and it just it was real. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I don't expect you to think much of it. It's just something that I experienced, and it was like that's what it was. So let's see here. There was something. Oh yeah, there's so many things. So yeah, that's what I believe is he's standing on Mount Zion. I think he's standing there uttering his voice, and that is why truth is being made known. Things being revealed. That's what he said. He said all things will there would be a time. So what I'm saying is that's awesome. I mean, it's kind of weird to be in this time and not really know, you know, nobody knows how everything's gonna look at, you know, tomorrow to the next day. Nobody knows. I mean, we think it's gonna be consistent, but I think if we can step back and look at it like we're living in the end of an era or the end of an age. We're living at look at the technology. It's gotten to a place where men routinely put things up where God lives, in heaven or in space or whatever you want to call it, in darkness, and they put them up in the sky. And they do things that they think are innocent and peaceful, but they're violent and horrible. Real things. They're not faking these things. But anyway, let's see. I should play that video. What is this video? I think I got some old videos on here. Let me see. Should I play them? I'm just looking. I didn't know I had. When this program starts up, because the other night my computer just shut off. Something was wrong, and it had to do a whole big thing. Here, let's look at this. Yeah, let's watch this.
Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beasts might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver.
Okay. That no beasts would stand before him. Have you guys ever heard of if you pay attention to any of the, and I don't expect you to, I'm not saying it's interesting. I'm saying that if you pay attention to what's happening in our society in general, the big money, a lot of the big money goes towards this exploration of that solar system, or that, whatever you want to call it, space. I call it darkness because I think it's important to be precise in what it actually is. It's darkness. It has some stars in it. It has the sun in it. And the stars are angels. It has a rotation. It funnels it funnels around the earth or over the earth in a specific, unique way, so that you can actually tell where you are in the world. If you knew the whole world, like I don't think we do, but you can be out at sea and you can look up at the motion of the stars, and you can tell very precisely, with a little bit of time, where you are. Like, not very precisely. I'm saying that just the motion of them and the place that they are in the sky, you can only see a certain thing from a certain place. Like where you live right now, if it's really close to me, you're going to see a really close to the same thing. If you look at that entire half of the existence that we have is above us, and the other half is below us, right? I mean, like, we exist on the surface of the earth, and beneath us is this solid, still ground that never moves, and it's just there for us to do everything we want on top of it. I mean, we're all sitting on it, or we're on it right now. It's right beneath your feet. I mean, touch it. It's hard. It's solid. I mean, go outside, pick up some dirt, drop it back down. That is the earth. That stays in one spot. I mean, there's landslides. It gets moved around with equipment, and we shovel it. But if we're not doing anything to it, and the wind isn't tearing it apart, and the rivers aren't tearing it apart, it just sits there. It just doesn't move, doesn't rotate, doesn't do anything like that. Now the sky, the other half, the part above us, that clearly has this crazy motion to it, but it's a very slow motion that you might not even notice, except that you have a day and you get morning when the sun comes, and then you get night when the sun goes. So it's like, that's obvious. We know that the sun makes our day, but if we look at those stars at night, just looking at them one night, they really don't even ever appear to move unless you're paying attention to them pretty much the whole time, glancing up there and making a note, going, wow, these are actually moving, and these are moving in this direction or whatever. And you can also do it with the camera, obviously. But so the world we live in, if we're like, you know, what is the saying that they got to do, you know, for science? You have to get something peer reviewed. Well, peer review this. This is the world you live in. You can't. There's no debate about it. No one's ever. You can't tell me the Earth rotates. It just simply doesn't. If you're going to tell me that, just keep in mind that while you're telling me that, I want you to put your feet on the ground. Just tell me that while you put your feet on the ground, because you'd be so contradictory to say that the Earth is rotating when you're standing on the Earth and you're clearly not rotating. People say that I observed the Earth rotating by looking at the sky and seeing that the sky's rotating. That's so backwards. It's not science at all, by the way. Not that science is anything that, you know, is anything special. Just science is like just common sense, really. This whole esteemed garbage, you know, oh, you didn't go to a school, you don't have a degree, all that stuff. That's for the people that hold value in that stuff. I don't. Sorry. At all. I don't at all. But yeah, let's just play the rest of it. It's only like another minute. If it'll play. Wow, this has almost been 2 hours too. I did click it, but my mouse has been messing up.
Out of
oh,
his
there
hand.
we go.
But he did according to his will, and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground.
Okay, this is what Daniel wrote. That it was, he saw this in his vision. He saw a he-goat with a notable horn between its eyes. I mean, look at the image on the screen. And he said it came from the west on the face of the whole earth, but touched not the ground. It was flying, guys. So it was a little, what Daniel called a he-goat. Remember, Daniel didn't have a car. Daniel didn't have a lawnmower. Daniel didn't. There was no such thing as a motor. They had fire, obviously, but what I'm saying is there was no forgery, like forges to make metal. Forgeries, I said, like forges or you know, steel or anything like that. Like they didn't. I don't think they had quite. They weren't flying. I don't think when Daniel was alive. They didn't have airplanes or jets or anything like that. So if you think about it, Daniel probably looked at this thing as if it were some sort of animal or alive. But then it was actually told him that it was like the basically the fallen angels. I think it called them the spirits of the kings of the Medes, I think. So these things, although they're just metal technology, metal capsules, they're far worse than that. They're of a spiritual nature that they came about. I mean, this thing on your screen right now is a dragon capsule. Remember the war in heaven? Michael and his angels were fighting with a dragon. Just think about it. Michael's angels, they could be those ones from Revelation 7 that are holding back the winds. What if the dragon is fighting with those winds? I mean, that's the way I see it. It's part of a war, and he was cast out into the earth. I mean, come on. This Dragon capsule goes up to the space station and then they cast it out into the earth. I mean, it's just word for word almost. It's crazy. People don't talk about this. I don't understand. I don't get it. We're going to try to play this again. I won't pause it till the end. Sorry.
And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven.
I didn't say it. Daniel said it. A prophet, I don't know how long ago. 4,000 years ago? I don't know. A long time ago. He had the vision, and he was told that it was a vision of the end of the world, the end of days. The time of the end, I think it said, specifically. And then also, you got to think about this too. If we're reading this, and we're seeing this, that's even like what I'm saying is if we're seeing something that is actually what Daniel saw, there's something happening there, because in the end of the book of Daniel, he's told to go rest, and then that he would have to stand in his lot at the end of days. Like, whatever that means, to me that seems as if Daniel is going to like prophesy or something. Like he's going to be doing something at the end of days. That's interesting. It's in Daniel 12, the very last verse. You'll be standing in thy lot at the end of days, because he told him to go rest, because of that because you're going to need the rest or something. So like, what if we're understanding this because it comes, I think by it comes from it actually comes from the throne of God, I think. Like, that's specifically, I think, where this kind of information comes from. Because let me try to think of why I'm okay, the Holy Spirit or the Holy Ghost proceeds from the Father in heaven. And then also, remember those 2 witnesses in Revelation 11, I think? They were standing before God. And then, like in John 16, I think, Jesus says that, I'm going to have to go there, because it says Jesus said that the Spirit doesn't speak he speaks what he hears. That's what the Spirit of truth. The Spirit of truth, you guys. To me, that's interesting. I'm not going to go to John right now. So yeah, there's so many things. Actually, this one's called, I hope I can play this if it plays. If it gets skippy again, I'm just going to probably end the stream, but let's see here. Let's try this. This was a good video. I made it a while ago, but it reminds us of some things that have happened in the sky and also in our world recently that seem to be also some of the things that those prophets, like John in Revelation 12, a woman in the sky, talking about a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was up in heaven in the sky. So check this out. Let's see if this will play. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them.
On behalf of Ripley, Little Earth, myself, and our crew, welcome to the Crew Dragon. Congratulations to all of the teams who made yesterday's launch and today's docking a success. These amazing feats show us not how easy our mission is, but how capable we are of doing hard things. Welcome to the new era in spaceflight.
Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Okay, I got another one. You guys ready? We're switching. Once the fire comes down. And he doeth great wonders. Oh, I read it again. He maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. I added that sound in there. Okay, ready?
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. In this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Up there. And we're now about to fly sort of version 2 and version 3. And with each one, we're able to make the reusability of the heat shield better. So
it ablates less as it enters, and so we're able to get more flights. So that's Dragon version 2.
I beheld then, because of the voice of the great word which the horn spake, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things. In this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
So I'm sitting here in the pilot seat. Let me pull it down.
So yeah, I'm just gonna keep someone in the chat. Let's see here. I gotta move this. Sorry. Awakening the Light says keep it rolling, Joe. You guys rock. Okay, this one's called Prophecy Being Fulfilled in 2018. So I made this video in 2018. Let's take a look.
And now Elon Musk is the card. But Elon Musk is sending up huge rockets into the space, right?
That verse just is a crazy one to me.
He's sending these rockets up. Do you know what he plans to do next?
This wasn't the video I thought it was, but that's sad to watch Pastor Lawson
He's going to put people on him.
This is an old video,
send
though.
them up to the moon. The people that have the money, they're going to go up to the moon. What are they going to do? They're going to look out the windows and photograph the earth. Think of all these people that are going to be going up.
I had to pause it. Think of all these people that are going to be going up. Is he talking about on Elon's rockets, up to space, or is he talking about in the resurrection? Like, that's Pastor Lawson. I would ask him that. Are you talking about the resurrection, or are you talking about Elon Musk? Like, are you taking a ride with him, or get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying anything really, but I'm pointing something out. So yeah, there's waters above, and NASA is learning about them. Check it out.
So I'm going to tell you about how we measure dark matter, since it's invisible. What I have here is a cartoon of how we measure dark matter. In cosmology, we measure distances with a unit called Z. So we're here at Z of 0. We're the observer. We're 0 distance from ourselves. And here's our telescope. And we look at distant galaxies out in the universe. These distant galaxies that are of Z about 1. And that might sound like a small distance, but how we do it in cosmology is a distance of 1 is actually about halfway to the edge of the visible universe. So this is a very distant galaxy. In the absence of anything between us and that galaxy,
and God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
the light from this galaxy would take a straight path to us. But we know from the work that Vera Rubin and others did that there's all this dark matter out there in the universe. And we're particularly sensitive with this technique to dark matter that's about halfway between us and the distant galaxy. Excuse me. One of the consequences of Einstein's theory of relativity, our theory of gravity, is that mass bends space. So what this means is the light, when it gets near this dark matter, won't take a straight path to us. That light is going to take a distorted and curved path. And I'm showing a very, very exaggerated version of that here, so it's easier to see. The consequence of this is that we will not see the galaxy as it actually is. We'll see a distorted version of the galaxy. So the dark matter between us, which we can't see, has distorted our image of this distant galaxy. And in doing so, it's telling us something about the dark matter. So I'm going to tell you with one more analogy. I'm going to use another analogy for how we measure dark matter. This is a penny in a pool. That's the analogy here. And full disclosure, Alina and I don't actually have a pool. So you're looking at a penny in our bathtub, but penny in the pool sounds better. So in this analogy, the penny is like the distant galaxy. And the water in our bathtub, or the water in a pool, is like the dark matter. You don't see the water here, but you know it's there because you see the effect on the image of the penny. So what's happening is the light is coming to us from the penny, and it's taking some distorted path that changes our perceived shape of the penny so that we know the water is there. So that we know the water is there. In much the same way as the light from a distant galaxy comes to us, takes a distorted path through the dark matter, and we see a distorted image of that galaxy. But we don't see the dark matter. We don't see the water. So that we know the water is there. I could tell the density of the water and how much water there was, and that's going to tell us a lot about the properties of dark matter. That's how we're learning about dark matter now, and that's how we're going to learn about dark matter in the future.
He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. The truth is, guys, that God lives above us in the heavens. That's what... I mean, even as a child, we all know that, right? Okay, so this is kind of a joke video, but this is something I made a while ago. It's called Sign Language Interpreter Quit. Okay, but I want to grab a video and show you children what they think of heaven or where God lives. But
Vice President Harris. I'll never forget getting out of my seat on my first space flight in 2001 and looking out the window for the very first time. You see the Earth as this big round ball just floating there in the blackness of space, and you immediately get this sense how we are all in this together. And I know that everybody in this room understands how important space will be, understanding the causes and effects of global climate change. Space-based scientific research is crucial. Lastly, and this is something that's
Okay, sorry. I found, this was, I don't remember the channel. They didn't have the comments open or anything. And so this was a while ago, but it's like a guy interviewed children about simple questions about God or whatever. And their answers are really interesting, actually. But there's this one little girl that is like just straight up about it. She's like, she's not messing around. She just tells them what it is, you know, and it's interesting. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit, but here we go. Let's check this out.
And it's kind of long.
What does he look like? Look at her. She tries to remember. What do you think he looks like?
Long hair. I think I know now.
Okay, what do you think God looks like?
I think he has a beard and he has a star.
Do you know where God lives?
Sky in heaven.
Did you hear her? She's right. Like, I just love how she says it too. Let's listen again. Do you know where God lives?
Sky in heaven. Up in heaven. In heaven. In heaven?
And what do you think heaven looks like?
Has like golden roads and like houses and stuff.
You guys, do you remember that? Like, I think that we know that, but this world makes us forget it quick. I don't think that that's just a common idea that human beings have always had. This started because the Bible, the stories in the Bible are true. However we choose to understand them, I don't think there's a way to understand everything in the Bible. I think it's like it means something when you follow when you I don't know how to even just say it right. Well, maybe it says it right in Hebrews. It talks about Abraham having faith. And he stepped out on faith, not knowing where he was going. And I think that's what faith is like. You don't know what quite, you don't understand it all, but you're believing a certain thing. Like just what these children say, in heaven, in heaven, in heaven. And if you ask them to point where's heaven, you know where they're going to point. They're going to point up at the sky. Whoops.
A big city.
A big city up there.
Would you like to live there someday?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe. Big like smoke, kind of. In the clouds. The people go in the clouds. At least.
If Jesus were here right now...
That was crazy. He just left her on video forever. But she said, in the clouds. The people went in the clouds. Like this whole story, it seems like it's part of like I don't know, I don't really like the word human because I don't know, but a person. Like, it seems like we have things that we know already, but this world really makes us forget them, and like it makes our way of thinking not interested in what's actually interesting. like what's actually important too. But either way, I went on a rocket launch, and so I'm going to rocket launch out of this live stream, and you guys get to watch. It's just a joke. But thanks for hanging out, and yeah, you guys, it's just wrong. Tell your family, tell your friends, just like, space is darkness. It's like it's a thing. It's in the Bible. It's I mean, it's even just a concept in our world. It's a concept, darkness. Not a good thing. I mean, unless you're goth, right? I guess. Anyway, check this out.
Alright, we're off. I'm glad I get a couple minutes to hang out with you guys alone. I wanted to talk about something to you. We're going up to space, per se, in a rocket, and I don't know if it's such a good idea now that I thought about it. Because are we maybe lifting up a shout up against God? Jesus said in John chapter 3 verse 12, "If I have told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things?" And then listen to this, guys. He says this, "And no man ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven." So what are we doing, you guys? What are we doing? What is the point of any of this?